and welcome back to another Tea Tuesday. Let's get into it. Hey, so this week I'm going to talk about the differences in the types of housing that you can get here. I'm going to dedicate one episode to each type of housing. You have officetels, villas, and actual apartments. And as you can tell, I'm sure by the name of the title, today's is going to be about officetels. I'm going to talk about the benefits of officetels and some of the drawbacks to officetels and what makes them unique and what makes them different. Okay, so I currently actually live in an officetel, and what that means is because it's English, but it's not really English, guys. It's Konglish. And what an officetel is it's a tall building that the first couple floors, usually the first three-ish floors, have businesses in them. So for instance, my building, on the very first floor, there's GS25 and a couple food restaurants and some real estate agents and coffee shops. The second and third floor are like tanning salons. There's a gym in my building. All sorts of different type of businesses are on the first couple floors. Then the floors above that in the rest of the apartments are places where you can have offices, okay? And that's going to be an important factor for one of the drawbacks to living here. They're usually pretty large. You can get different types of officetels. You can have, like me, I have a loft style, right? You can have a one-bedroom officetel, usually, sometimes. You can have a studio officetel. There's all different types of officetels. Some of the benefits of living in this high-rise style, small, not super large, bedroom style, I guess it's not really a bedroom, but like one bedroom style apartment is that, well, one, you have security. There is security 24/7 in my building. I've used them before. They make sure things happen and people are doing what they're supposed to do, etc. So that's a benefit of having an officetel. Another benefit is the newness. A lot of officetels are recently built within the last maybe 10, 15, 20 years. My officetel is actually kind of old. It's like 20 years old. But a lot of them are newer or more renovated or cleaner than, say, a villa, okay? The other thing that is beneficial is a lot of officetels have a Western style bathroom. And I noticed people have commented on my videos before in the past, like, oh, a lot of people say that these Western style bathrooms are rare, because they are. They're not a common sight in villas, okay? So a Western style bathroom, you often will find them in officetels. Not always, but more than likely they will have a Western separate shower stall to the actual bathroom itself. Another benefit is oftentimes the key money is lower on officetels than in, say, an apartment or a villa, okay? Now, this isn't always the case, okay? However, it's easier to find an officetel that has a lower rent, say 5 million deposit, than it is to find an apartment that has a 5 million deposit. Even Woolsey in general, Woolsey is really hard to find for apartments, okay? So it's much easier to rent from a officetel. Now, what are the drawbacks of living in an officetel? Well, one, you know, that security I said was really nice. You're paying for that. There's a management fee. And what that is you're paying for the security guards, you're paying for the electricity in the building, you're paying for the upkeep and the cleaning of the building, you're paying for all of that. And in these big giant buildings, because of the size, it's pretty expensive. So a lot of the ones I'm looking at in Seoul, for instance, range from 60 to 90,000 won. That's a lot of money on top of your rent, right? My apartment now is 60,000 won for my, no, it's 70. It just increased last year. It is 70. It was 60. It's now 70,000 won per month for the maintenance of this building. Okay. And that's everything. Like if the elevator breaks or whatever, they take care of it, which is great, but you still have to pay for it on top of your rent, right? The other downside to an Officetel is the lack of it, the fact that it is an Officetel. These buildings are technically not residential. Okay, a lot of people live in them, but they're not classified by the government as a residential place. So what does that mean? Well, in my last video, I kind of talked about this, and in your local GU office, you are allowed to register your deposit money that you put down so you can potentially get it back if, let's say, your landlord says, oh, I don't have that money. Well, you have a recourse through the local office and be like, nah, you have to give me that money back. So come on. It's kind of like an insurance policy against a large deposit, right? It's supposed to be beneficial. Anyone can do that. However, in an Officetel, you cannot, because it's not a residence. It's an office. They're not supposed to be for living circumstances. They're really only supposed to be for offices. That's not saying people don't live in them. On my floor alone, there's about 20 different apartments, or 20 different rooms, I guess. And there are only 3 offices on this floor. The one next door, but they also live there, okay? So they live there, plus they're an office, all right? There's another one this way, and then there's another one this way. So there are 3 total, but that's not out of 20, 3 out of 20 on my floor, okay, are offices. The rest are residents. And there's families that live here. I know that for a fact. One of my favorite restaurants in the building, they actually live here, and they're a family of 4. So that's a thing that happens. Like, people live in these, but they're not technically residences. So you can't register your deposit money. So if let's say my landlord decides, oh, I don't have your 5 million won, I can't give it to you back. Well, there's no repercussion, not like immediate repercussion that I can do. I can obviously sue them, but that's going to take a lot of time and money and effort on my part. But the local GU office isn't going to have my back. Whereas like if I lived in a villa or an apartment, they would, right? So that's like the biggest drawback. Honestly, there are not many drawbacks. Living in an Officetel for me has been very nice. I enjoy it. My security attaches are wonderful. They're really sweet. They've chased men away for me. They opened doors for me when I had my broken ankle. They were really sweet. The building fee, while it has increased, whatever, it's fine. They take care of the stuff that they need to take care of. The place is relatively clean, and all of that. For me, at least, an Officetel isn't a bad situation and a bad thing to live in. It's actually pretty easy and accessible for foreigners and relatively common. Again, the only drawback being the deposit money. You can't insure it at your local office. You know, gotta weigh the options, right? So until next time, I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. I'm gonna talk about villas, I think, in my next one. Bye, guys.